All right, everybody. This is Attorney Anthony Reeves, and as always, it's a pleasure to give you my legal beat tip of the day. Before I get started, let me throw out one thing that you may not be aware of. When you're looking for somebody who's going to be helping you with your Social Security disability case, trust me, you can look anywhere. Meaning, a lot of times people look for people who are local, but Social Security is a federal practice. So if you see a commercial or somebody tells you that somebody represented them in their state and you're thinking, well, I got to find somebody locally, you don't have to find somebody locally. You can contact that firm and see whether or not they'd be interested in taking your case, because the reality is that you're practicing before a federal administrative court. So this way, whether it be an attorney or non-attorney representative, as long as they don't mind traveling and they can get your medical records for you, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. So keep that thought in the back of your mind when you're trying to decide who you want to represent you. Now, the reason why I'm having this today is there was a question about psychological evaluations. As opposed to me just talking about psychological evaluations, let me tell you about evaluations that are scheduled for you by Social Security. This is how it typically works. You'll get a letter in the mail from the Disability Determination Services telling you you've got an appointment to see a doctor. There's always been some confusion about what actually happens when you go there. Let's get one thing completely straight, okay? They're not there to treat you. So don't go in there thinking that they're going to prescribe you medication or they're going to treat you like your normal treating doctors. When they're doing an evaluation, it's because of a couple of reasons. One, there's an inconsistency. That means you've got different doctors saying different things, so these doctors may necessarily have to come together to see if they can make some sense of what's going on. Two, there's a lack of medical evidence present with regards to a particular condition. Like, let's say you're saying you're depressed, but then you also say you have a bad back, but you can't afford to go to a regular doctor. So they'll send you to an evaluation just to kind of assess what your back, how bad your back is. The third may be if there are specific types of testing that they may have to do that are necessary to support your claim. Now, don't get the high pro glow. If you say your back hurts, they're not going to send you for an MRI. That's just not the kind of party I'm talking about. But if you're having breathing problems, they may do a breathing test. If you're saying that you have problems with learning, they may send you for an IQ test. If you're hearing voices and different things, they may send you for various testing in that manner. Now, this is all at the prerogative of Social Security. They don't have to do that. So I don't want you to think when you walk out of that, oh my gosh, they didn't do what they were supposed to do and they messed up and they didn't look out for my well-being. They're not there to treat you. They're only there to get a brief assessment. Another thing you need to be aware of, it's not going to last that long. Unless they're doing testing, the assessment is not there to spend 2 and 3 hours to assess your situation. So don't be surprised if you're in and out in like, I don't know, 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, because it's not designed for you to be there a long time. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Also, if you don't, they're going to send the results to Social Security for them to review for their determination. Keep in mind, you have to talk to the Disability Determination Services who are setting it up. The doctor's probably not going to give you a report. The Disability Determination Service, which is the medical component, the state component that does the development of the medical portion of your disability case, they're going to get the report and then they're going to send that to Social Security. So if you want a copy of that report, you need to ask the Disability Determination Service. Finally, keep this in mind. If they ask you to bring medical paperwork, bring it. If they ask you to be there early, come for it. Don't go in there thinking, oh my God, this is the person that's going to determine whether I'll get approved or not, so I got to say the right things and do the right things. Make sure that you're honest. People, I cannot say this any clearer. Don't try to go in there running dirty and try to be slick and make your situation sound worse than it is. You are dealing with professionals who went to medical school, so they know when you are trying to blow smoke. So don't go in there and try to be, oh, I got a headache that's just so all swole up, but you've never told any of your doctors about a headache. And also, be mindful. If they have your medical records, they've already reviewed them. So don't be slick and say something, and something is in your file that is. In other words, let's say, for instance, that you went to the hospital because you got Baker acted or you got involuntary admitted, and the reason why is because you was smoking that hydro or that herb, or you were using crack or something, and then go in front of the doctor for the evaluation for Social Security and say, oh, I've never used drugs. guess what? They're going to put a note in your file that they reviewed and they reviewed your file saying you had been using drugs, but you said you didn't. That's just not the kind of party you want to have go down. So, the evaluations in a nutshell is this: when you're going for an evaluation before a disability, for a doctor that has been scheduled by Disability Determination Services, be honest, be yourself. Trust that they're not there to find in your favor or rule against you. They're only there to take an objective assessment. Do not go in there thinking they're going to do a deep down, head to toe assessment to the level that you're thinking. Go in there knowing that, look here, they're going to make an assessment, you're going to get in, you're going to get out, and you're going to keep on rolling. I hope that helped and answers any questions that you may have. Of course, as you may also know, you can always hit me up at www.reevesfirm.com. And just to let you know, I've made a very new revision to my blog because I had some complaints from people who were like they had a hard time being able to find things. And now I've laid out all the categories of all the various things I've written about. So if you want to read them, copy them, go to legalbeat.anthonyreeves.com. Again, legalbeat, all one word, .anthonyreeves.com. And you can scroll through, make comments. That's another place. It's a great place to make comments as well. So if you have any comments there you're like, could you explain that? I'll be more than happy to take your comments and then come over here and do a video for you, because that's the kind of guy I am. As always, it's my pleasure. You have a wonderful day and take care.